Now, welcome back. You're watching News Desk. I'm here for Business at One. My name is Kelly Boss. Now, the Competition Authority of Kenya has sworn in its Director General, David Kimei, as a Commissioner of the East African Community Competition Authority for a term of 4 years and elected as its interim chairperson. This is in an effort to bolster ongoing efforts to enhance regional trade and integration. The swearing-in ceremony took place on the 3rd June 2025 at the East African Community headquarters in Arusha, underscoring Kenya's ongoing commitment to regional and international and promoting of effective competition and consumer protection in alignment with the global best practices. Now, the Kenya Association of Manufacturers has called on the government to address the unpredictability of the tax and policy environment to support local production. Now, speaking during the launch of a locally manufactured enhanced flooded battery, KAM CEO Tobias Alando says if the government gives clear incentives on the manufacturing environment, many local manufacturers will be able to produce products and goods most suitable for the local needs.
And being that the vehicles coming into this country, technology is changing and they are demanding start-stop technology. And this is so as to comply with environmental demands, environmental protection. So as demand was going up and our customers started demanding for a battery that is able to power such kind of a vehicle.
Partnership like this do help us. That's why we are bringing in our drivers on one side so that they can get affordability, reliability, and obviously, easiness to buy these batteries on our platform.
Now, Old Mutual East Africa has announced its official membership in the United Nations Global Compact. The UNGC is the world's largest corporate sustainability initiative, which brings together more than 20,000 companies across the globe. This means that it will now align operations and strategies with 10 universally accepted principles in the areas of human rights, labor, environment, and anti-corruption.
Resilience is a big initiative around that UN Global Compact is passionate about, and we are also passionate about that. We have an insurance arm, and the whole idea behind insurance is being there to restore to you when circumstances have taken you down. That's resilience.
The UN Global Compact is the world's largest corporate sustainability initiative with a mandate to mobilize the global business community to align business operations and strategies with universal values that touch on issues such as business respect for human rights, labor rights, environmental stewardship, and anti-corruption.
We have signed up to the UN Global Compact and joined over 25,000 global corporates that stand for sustainable practices that ensure we are looking forward to an environment that is conducive for doing business sustainably, as well as an environment that ensures that we can be here and operating our businesses successfully for the future.
Now, more than 33,000 persons living with disabilities are to benefit from government services that have been digitized through the eCitizen platform. This is according to the speakers at the 6th Conference of African Delegations held in Nairobi that involved persons living with disabilities. Now, PWDs at the conference explained the various challenges they experienced in accessing government services, especially services provided on digital systems.
Under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, we have made bold commitments under the digital superhighway and creative economy pillar. Our target is to ensure 20 million Kenyans are digitally literate by 2027. However, these figures are only significant if they encompass every Kenyan, including those who are blind, deaf, or experiencing mobility, cognitive, or learning disabilities.
I wish to reaffirm our unwavering commitment to the cause of disability inclusion and, more importantly, digital inclusion. My State Department is mandated to lead the nation in developing and implementing policies and programs that safeguard the rights and welfare of vulnerable groups, including persons with disabilities.
Digital accessibility is not a one-time fix. It's a continuous evolving process that must be embedded from the start and throughout the development of the product life cycle. Accessibility is not an add-on. It's a core design principle. This requires intentional policies, inclusive design standards, cross-sector collaboration, and sustainable investment.
Now, at a time when Kenya's flower industry is blooming on the global stage, key players are warning of challenges threatening its growth. While officially opening the International Floriculture Trade Expo 2025, Agriculture CS Mutahi Kagwe highlighted the need for urgent reforms, from lowering transportation costs, zero-rating packaging materials, to encouraging local processing. Currently, Kenya exports to over 60 countries, ranking in over 100 billion shillings annually, making it the third largest exporter of cut flowers worldwide.
But behind the scenes are pressing concerns. Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe called out rising production and freight costs, arbitrary cess fees by counties, and burdened some export levies as major bottlenecks.
One of the problems that these good people are complaining about is the charges and levies that you put on them, even as you give them a nice speech. And we have endeavored to start addressing some of these challenges. Some of them are short-term. Some of them we can easily resolve. For example, on the policy issues regarding transportation and working with KCA to ensure that we have got more cargo space.
The CS further stressed the importance of addressing strengthening cold chain logistics and supporting compliance with tough international standards like the EU's new force coddling moth regulations.
We had a long engagement, and thanks to KEFIS and AFA. You know, you might think about just the levies, but there's a lot of good work they also do. And they fought for you in this issue of the moth, and I don't know which other aspect, sanitary, phytosanitary issues. They fight like warriors.
We are piloting on use of AI in pest identification, early warning systems, and for data-driven decisions to enhance response times and reduce human error.
Despite being a floral powerhouse, Kenya's access to the U.S. flower market remains limited. U.S. consumers are increasingly valuing traceability, fair labor, and environmental sustainability, all areas where Kenya's flower industry, through initiatives like Kenya Flower Council Sustainability Standards, has made significant strides.
The Kenyan farmer is very clever. We have to admire them. Every time a new problem comes, they fix it, they get on with it. So Europe is our main market, but at the same time we start looking for new markets which are maybe a little bit easier to penetrate. So the American market is a little bit more difficult despite the tariffs, but for us, this side of the world, east, is where the Kenyan grower is really focusing on.
As more than 500 international buyers convene in Nairobi for the 13th IFTEX, Kagwe reaffirmed the government's commitment to innovation, tech-driven agriculture, youth empowerment, and market expansion. For KTN, I'm Paul Thiongo.
Now, pesticides regulator has raised concerns over the credibility of a recent study that found Nyandarua potatoes to be unsafe for human consumption. Now, speaking during a press briefing earlier today, Pest Control Products Board Chief Executive Officer Frederick Moshiri dismissed the study, questioning the methods that the farmers used in applying the said chemicals. According to Moshiri, the insecticides in question are not approved for use by farmers in growing crops, and that if applied are not translocated from the leaves to other parts of the plant.
The study seeks to allude that the two products were found in the tubers. And we know the potato tubers are usually underground. So what the researcher has not disclosed is whether the farmers applied the two products directly on the tubers or whether they were applied on the leaves. If they were applied on the leaves, then the study is questionable because those two products are not translocated. They are not systemic. They cannot be moved from one part of the plant to another one. They will remain where they were applied, and therefore they would be expected to be found on the leaves, not in the tubers.
Octopus closures are a form of fishing management where a designated area is closed for octopus fishing for about 3 to 4 months, allowing octopus population to recover and grow from. Now, for women in Lamu, the practice is sometimes referred to as a form of farming because it mirrors agricultural techniques where crops are allowed to mature before harvesting. By temporarily halting fishing, the octopus population can increase, leading to a larger harvest when the area is reopened, benefiting both the environment and the community's livelihood.
Nini tufanye hiyo shamba la pweza? Kwa sababu hiyo nafasi wazee walisema imevuliwa sana na uvuvi haramu. Tukaanzisha hiyo shamba la pweza, tukafunga miezi 4. Wakati tulipofunga miezi 4, tukifungua tulipata pweza kilo 168. Tukasema hii ni shamba, ni mwanzo kuanza, ni lazima kuteleza sio kuanguka.
Octopus fisheries is highly dominated by women, from the harvesting to the processing to the marketing sectors, and so this is where women are highly encouraged and come into play. And it's where we want to build the capacity of women such that they are able to make economic gains from these fisheries.
In terms of it being near shore, then you realize it's more accessible to women and also children and even the aged, and therefore given the whole village can actually access this area, then it is also very prone to overfishing, and therefore we need to focus more on a lot of effort in conservation and ensuring these fisheries remain sustainable. Because in the long run, if they get overfished, then the most affected people will be the women and the young generations and the aged fishers who cannot actually go offshore.
Well, that story does it for Business at One. My name is Kelly Boss, but on standby is Grace with sports.
Kelly Boss. Let's get sporty now, shall we? From North Carolina to the floating city of Venice, American midfielder Gianluca Busio traded small town Satellite for the dream of Serie A with Venezia FC. Through historic promotion,